Here we go.
Please return Bubbles, your flight attendant, to her fully upright and locked position. Oh, wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat and buckle up. Seat backs and tray tables in their full upright position. It's another episode of Skip Happens. A view from 30,000 feet. From the first music lesson to the first paid gig to signing the deal, it's the journey that is the life of an artist. Now, here's your captain and co-captain, a.k.a. your hosts, Skip Clark and Deb Lamphere.
There she is.
Hi.
Hi, Deb.
How are you?
How you doing? I'm good. How are you, by the way?
I'm good. I had a little oral surgery today, but, they give you some meds and I feel no pain right now.
She's good to go.
I'm good to go.
You've had a hell of a week, though. You had a birthday celebration. Now you get a tooth pulled. So, well, there you go. Yeah.
All in the same week.
I know. That sucks. It can only get better now. And you're off to Nashville on Sunday. But, hey, we got a great podcast for you tonight here on Skip Happens. And Skip happens quite often, but this is all about the journey of an artist. And we have a lot of the new and up and coming artists. We get some well-established artists, and we get those that are kind of like just between here and there. You know what I mean? And that's one of those, right? Let's see if I can do this right there. Dillon Carmichael.
Hello, everybody. And happy birthday, Deb.
Thank you very much.
But a little behind the scenes story, so to speak, was last night. We were supposed to do this last night, and we went. And my phone keeps doing beep beep. We went to do the podcast last night, and Dillon couldn't see me. I could hear him. Then he could hear me, and then he couldn't hear me. Deb could hear me. Then Deb couldn't hear me. Then Deb couldn't see me. Then I couldn't see anybody. So we decided, it turned into one of those. But we got it all. I was online with support all night trying to figure out what happened, but
Skip happens, right?
Skip happened in a big way last night. Dillon, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Finally.
Oh my gosh. Doing good. Just got back a few days ago from our honeymoon, so we just got married.
I read that in the trades. I read that in the trades. Cool.
In the trades, and then we went on our honeymoon for 2 weeks. We went to Costa Rica. Spent a week in the rainforest and a week on the beach.
Dude,
your life is no longer a secret. Skip just saying, we're gonna know where you are at all times.
And that's when you know you've made it, because
that's what I've signed up for, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you see, like in the trades, Dillon Carmichael married his high school whatever, and it goes out, and it's like, oh, okay. It's not like it's just any Joe down the street. It's Dillon Carmichael, which is cool. Dillon's with Riser House. And cool. We got to know Dillon pretty good at CRS, and I'll tell you how or why. Not that we ever spoke, but every time that Deb and I, because we'd be there, for the radio thing, we go up the escalator. The first thing we would see is a window with your face on it.
Yep. I think that's 3 years in a row Riser House has landed that window spot.
Well, it worked. It worked. And it only took 3 years, right? It didn't take 10. So that's
absolutely.
We're celebrating the top 40 this week. We just broke into the top 40 on country radio. So
son of a
death.
Son of a son of a
son of a. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, tell us about you though a little bit, Dillon. I know you've been around a little bit. I mean, 2018, is that when you signed with Riser House? And then
so I signed with Riser House actually September of 2017.
Okay.
So a lot of people think that's when my journey started. I actually moved to Nashville 10 years ago. I moved to Nashville in 2013 and I graduated high school in 2012. So I graduated in May of 2012, and then February of 2013 I moved to Nashville. And the story seems like everybody had to sleep on their truck, but I did for a couple days, and I ran into an old buddy of mine who let me crash on his couch. I ended up living there in an apartment with a bunch of musicians and songwriters for a year. Then upgraded to a house full of singers, songwriters, drummers.
Okay.
How was that? Was there ever a quiet moment?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was a blast, and it was a phase that I built my just kind of being around musicians all the time. It was a big part of me honing in on my craft. And but I'll tell you, when Shayla and I started dating, that was not the hangout for me and Shayla.
Hold on, I'm going to stop you right there for a second because I see Shayla is watching this, and so I'm just telling you, just kind of use your words wisely.
Well, she's
No.
5 feet away from me right now.
Oh,
Well, God
Drinking a
bless her.
Topo Chico.
I love
She's
it.
being good tonight. I'm having bourbon. She's having a Topo Chico.
Oh,
we'll
man,
have
and
to
I'm
meet her
drinking.
later.
Yeah, we'll have to say hello afterwards. But yeah, so keep going.
Yeah. So I graduated high school, moved to Nashville 2013. Unique kind of situation. Actually, before I graduated high school, I met a wonderful, smart young lady by the name of Jennifer.
Okay.
And she offered me a songwriting publishing deal when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
And which is initially why I moved to Nashville to go be a songwriter at this publishing company. I actually couldn't legally sign a contract until I was 18. So
Yeah,
I waited.
exactly.
So I immediately had a publishing deal when I got to Nashville. So I was thrown into the fire writing songs. And I mean, it was the best thing I ever could have done at such a young age. I was hungry and eager, and I really learned to write songs in that kind of phase of my career in life. But so that was super important. I had that deal with Jennifer for 3 years. Then I took a little break from music. I still played shows on occasion. I would have bands, and then they would go on. I'd find another band, and it was always changing, and I couldn't get anything stable going. I ended up going and working security, and I did that for a while. I did security for years, 3, 4, 5 years.
You look like you could be a security guard. I'm just saying. I mean,
Well,
you got that build and that look.
That's what all my buddies said. They said, you just need to go get a job working security.
There you go.
You're a big guy and all that, and you'll get the job. And actually, it was pretty good money, to be honest with you. Go down on Lower Broadway, go get pushed around and kicked and punched by a bunch of drunk people for 3 years. And you'll really want, that's when I really realized how much I wanted to play music for a living. And it really was and still is as simple as that. It was never like, ooh, I want to be a multimillionaire. Oh, I want to win all these awards. I do want to win these awards and be successful.
Sure.
But then, and I still now just want to play music for a living. I want to make a living doing something I love. And I think that's probably anyone, you know what I mean? So it just happens to be like a really cool job. It's a cool job. It's harder than people from the outside think it is. They think it's all roses and rainbows, but it is hard at times, very difficult. But see, I'm trying to think if there's more to the story. Yes, I signed a record deal in 2017. Went on radio tour in 2018. For those listeners that don't know what radio tour is, it's where the record label sends you on a tour as an artist to go showcase your brand and what you do to radio people all over the country, in hopes that those radio people, like Skip and Deb, will support your song and support what you do and kind of fall in love with what you do. And you'll have years of a music career because of that. So you kind of learn then it can be really difficult. You're doing your laundry in a hotel room, traveling all over the country, and your friends are drifting away because you don't ever see anybody anymore. And then people start getting this notion that you're gone all the time. You're too big for your britches. You can't even reach out. We don't even hang out anymore. And but at the end of the day, like, kind of full circle, we're celebrating the top 40, and because of all that hard work and all that sacrifice. So, and a bunch of other things, luck and people just being graceful.
I got to tell you, doing what I do in radio, and we have, the artists like yourself, and they come around on the radio tour. Sometimes it's just your day is long. You're up. You might be in a studio with a morning show like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Yet then that night you might be doing a showcase in a different city. And it's
Yeah.
just a long, long, long day. And I think there's a lot of people that want to do what you want that you're doing, but they don't realize really what goes into it. It's a lot. And let's just be real, Dillon, let's be real here. You're out on a radio tour and you're not getting paid, if you know what I mean.
No.
So
you're
just trying to get your name out there.
You're investing your time into, if I'm lucky, in maybe a decade or 5 years from now, I might have some success if I'm lucky. You're investing in but it takes a lot of belief in yourself, and it's just, you learn a lot in that process. It was such a blessing. And I was one of the few that actually, I didn't really have too many bad things to say about radio tour. Just other than like, I'm not a fan of doing laundry in a hotel room. It's really not a big deal.
Hey,
I enjoyed it.
Being a guy, we can wear jeans 2 or 3 times in a week. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's long jeans. You can do that too.
Jeans, you can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, go ahead, Deb.
Well, I was just curious, was there ever a time during that period, because you did start young, you were only 17.
Yep.
And at that time, there's still so much young life left to do, even though you had this passion. Was there anything that crossed your path maybe for those first 5 years or so that, because your friends were drifting and you were here there, that you might think, maybe I don't want to do this, or is this what it's really like, or something negative? Had that crossed your mind?
Absolutely not. Not
wonderful.
I knew when I was 15 years old. I remember when I was in school, my teacher came and said, what are you looking at there? And I was looking at pictures of Nashville. And I said, oh, I'm gonna live there. And I knew right then, I knew that I wanted to do this.
Right.
And were there times I was discouraged? Yes, but not one time did I ever even have the slightest thought that I want to do something else, even in the worst times.
That's we do hear that if someone gets this little voice inside of them, right, Skip, at a young age, and it says, this is what I want to do, or this is where I'm going, or I'm bound for Nashville, whatever, we find that those are the ones that, like yourself, they just don't stop and they just plow right through. So
I grew up, I was lucky to grow up in a family that of professional country singers that had made a living out of it. My uncles are John Michael Montgomery and his brother Eddie Montgomery from Montgomery Gentry.
I was going to ask you about that. Okay.
My mother is their sister, Becky. And so
cool.
I grew up around them and seeing, and my mom toured all the time as well growing up. My whole family does it. And so I got lucky enough to kind of hear the getting caught in the crossfire of these conversations about Nashville and how it works and all this stuff. Look at that.
This is my Eddie Montgomery hat. I'm not kidding. This came from him. See, we have something in common. The late T. Roy signed it.
T. Roy on there, man.
God bless him.
Wow.
And Eddie, I'm just telling you, mentioned that. I had to reach back and grab the hat.
I've been seeing that since I was a kid.
Can I interject one more time?
Please do.
On this topic, I have a question. Sorry, Skip. I got all these questions tonight.
No, go for it.
So here's a thought I always wondered. So you have relatives in the business and they were successful and they're moving on. And here you were basically a struggling musician.
Yep.
So is there ever, I very rarely, do you hear of the, the ones that have made their career in the business kind of helping the other ones along? I mean, is that just because you want to do it on your own, or is there some unwritten rule that says we can't really help this person? Or I don't know. It's just weird.
I don't know that I ever really thought too much about it. And I don't know that I do now. I just don't really think too much about it. I just kind of just try my best to follow my heart and write the songs I want to write. And, I think a lot of times people go, oh, well, you know, you don't talk about your uncles all the time, and it's because they're asking, or that it would be in under the subject of their country music career. But I've always just they've always just been my uncle, like anybody else's uncles. They were famous country music singers, but I didn't really think I just didn't think to talk about it all the time. I'm real proud of everything my family has done in the music business.
Absolutely.
My mom, my dad's side of the family, my mom and dad's side both music, very much so. My dad's dad took me to my first karaoke, and we would go karaoke every Thursday. I mean, I was just so blessed to just be immersed in it from the time as far back as I can remember. I've always loved it. My dad's dad, one time when I was probably like 12 years old, he took me to a barber and had my hair all done up like Elvis, and put me in a jail costume. And I went to this place in Bergen, Kentucky called the Barn, and I did a jailhouse rock. And my grandpa helped me choreograph a dance and a performance and everything. And so, I mean, it just came from everywhere for me, and I was just right in the middle of it and just loving every bit of it. But to answer your question, I never really thought too much about it. I just it just was there. I wasn't intentional about any of it. It just was.
Did you ever ask them for advice or ask for a connection or a favor or anything? You just.
Oh my gosh! I mean, they gave me so much advice, whether they even knew it or not. I did ask for advice previously about music industry stuff, producers and labels and managers and so on and so forth. I've definitely asked them for advice over the years, but they've given me more advice than they realize, and maybe that I even realize. It's just from, like I said, just being in the crossfire of those conversations, and my mother and her brothers and my grandpa and my dad and my mom's parents. And I mean, just like I said, just soaking it all up like a sponge.
That's awesome.
Love it. Austin City Saloon. I see they're chiming in here. So a big shout out to the Austin City Saloon. Sounds like a cool place.
Yeah, I cut my teeth there. Actually, I'm glad that you can see all these comments, because I'm seeing all my loved ones, my friends and family, and everybody popping on here. That tickles me to death. But yeah, Austin City's one of the first bars I ever had opportunity to play in when I was
very
young,
cool,
and cut my teeth there.
Very, very cool. Very cool. What if you weren't singing? What do you think you'd be doing?
I kind of just realized this in the last couple of years, but I'd definitely be a farmer. Before, when someone asked me that question, I kind of didn't really know. My brain would just go everywhere, but I would love to just farm. I don't know what I would farm, but I love agriculture.
I love it. I love it. What would you say? I ask some really crazy questions sometimes, but what would you say is the greatest country song of all time?
I love a song called Blues Man,
okay,
by Hank Williams Jr. It's a very unusual song for Hank Williams Jr. if you listen to all his other stuff. And he wrote it by himself, and it's kind of a love story. It's kind of like a good-hearted woman talking about love and a good time. And man, it's a troubled man that is kind of saved by this woman, and it's a beautiful love story that actually is. Verse 2 is from a completely different perspective. You'd have to listen to it, but I totally relate to it. Hank Williams Jr. wrote it, being the son of Hank Williams. It talks about coming from a family of musicians. It was the first time I ever heard a song and was just like floored by it. Like this song was written for me by someone I've never met in my life. And that's one of the reasons I was so inspired to become a songwriter. That song.
Wow, that's amazing. Definitely great stuff. Anything to do with Hank or the family, or it's all pretty wild, pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching all these people chime in. Obviously, a lot of these people they know you very well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm telling
and
you,
I love this. Becky's on there, says "Love you, son,"
that's my
which is cool.
mama.
Yeah, and
I'm talking about if I went through and named everybody here, we're talking about family, friends,
I love it.
fans. These people right here would line up, and we could conquer the world together. These are all my
I
favorite
love it.
people. So I just want to say hi to everybody here in the chat. Love y'all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I forgot what I was going to ask now. I'm blown away by the family. It's pretty awesome and a close knit family. And that it looks at I just by reading a lot of these comments, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, my friend. So son of a. Now I realize the song's been, I remember seeing, as we mentioned early, about CRS and seeing your picture. And I think that's when they first started pushing son of a, but nothing happens overnight. So it's been
It
a slow
has.
go, but now you're inside that top 40. Tell us about that song a little bit. How did it come about? And
Sure.
so on and so forth.
We were talking about tough love. Really, is the um, how thankful we were to experience tough love growing up. And in the story, it's about a son, a father, and a mother. Um, and but really, it's about anyone who gives a damn about you, and how just someone just caring about you. You know, there's all these. We were kind of, it was the conversation that day kind of went something like, man, there's all these books on parenting and all this stuff and this science of how you're supposed to do that. And all that stuff is great, obviously. Um, but just having someone, whether that be an aunt, uncle, grandparent, foster parent, sister, brother, having someone in your life that cares about you, how powerful that is. But wrote it with Casey Beathard and Phil O'Donnell. And that day was a special day. We were just talking about those things like daddy pulling you're living on, my house, my roof. You live under this roof. This is my house, my rules. And taking my car keys away and all that stuff, just real life stuff. And that's what we all believe country music is supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And we went for it and we wrote this song. It's got a touch of humor, just really the son of a thing under there, a sense of humor, and then it's real life. And I got lucky. I got lucky that day to be in the room with these guys, and we all got lucky to have this idea pop up and us write a song that I'm so proud of, that I'm so proud that everyone else loves as much as I do. So, well, this is the highest charted song I've ever had. So,
oh, absolutely. And it's continuing to grow. And we're playing it, and I can hear the response from our listeners. It's a great, great song. One of my other favorites would be like Hot Beer.
Yeah.
just because.
And if you go to my show, any show I've ever played in the last 2 years, anywhere in America, it's like Freebird. Somebody is gonna scream hot beer.
That would be me, by the way.
Hey, it's you're coming to every show screaming hot beer, huh?
I'd love to. I can't wait to see one of your shows, to be honest with you. I bet you that's high energy. Describe one of your shows for us?
Yeah, I mean, it's high energy. It is. We like to have fun because we know if we're not having fun, they're not having fun. And we like to involve the audience. We have a lot of different moments. I'll go out in the audience. I'll drink a beer with the audience and crack jokes and I've brought kids up on stage before, and they know every word to my song. And I just want the audience to feel like we're one, so, and it's high energy. Everybody dances and has a great time.
God, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And if they're singing the words back to you, I mean, every artist tells us there's nothing like that. When the crowd is singing your song back to you, there's nothing like it.
Oh, there's no words.
And I'm reading here. Craig says, "Picking up girls, hand me down Ford."
That's one of my songs. I got a song called "Picking Up Girls."
Hand me down Ford. I love it. What do you
You
drive a
Ford?
Ford?
Yeah, damn Ford. Yeah. What's that? Do I
I
drive?
said, do you drive a Ford?
You know, the funny thing is that I always grew up driving Fords my whole entire life. And a couple years ago, I bought a Chevy, and I'll just leave it there. I'm one of those guys, like, you know,
Be careful.
I think they're all great trucks. You know, I think Chevy, Ram, Ford, I think they're all great trucks. Or if you want to, you know, be a glass half empty person, you can say they all suck.
Yeah, well, Dillon, I'm going to tell you, we're getting away from music for a quick second, but I've had the Chevy, I've had the Silverado, I've had the Ford, I've had the Dodge. Those are I love those trucks. Now, I probably shouldn't even tell you what I'm driving now, but no, actually, it's a Telluride, a Kia Telluride. Absolutely love it, but nothing can compare to the trucks that I had. I always love my trucks. So
yeah, me too. I'm a truck guy.
Yeah,
I've owned a car, I've owned a Jeep, couple different things, and I'll never steer away from the truck. I love a pickup truck.
I love trucks myself, except I'm a Ford person.
Yeah. Hey, I ain't got no problem with a Ford.
We had a Ram a while back, but I don't know. I kind of lean towards that.
Never had a Ram. Never had a Ram. I'm telling you what, though, we're gonna fire this comment section up with this.
What? Oh, I love this. I love this. So what do you think? Do you have any ideas what the next single may be? I know we still got a lot of life in Son of a.
Yeah.
But are you
thinking
about the next one?
I really don't. I have no idea. These are conversations that we're going to start having soon. But I have no clue. I know that it has to be an up-tempo song, because Son of a is not necessarily a ballad, but it's not an up-tempo. So you kind of want to have balance. So we're gonna be coming out with a tempo song.
Cool. Now Brian is on here. He says he puts on a hell of a show. We're going to our 20th soon.
Yeah. So Brian plays drums with me.
Well, that kind of explains it. Is that
okay,
Brian Howard?
Different Brian. Brian Howard.
Okay.
Oh, Brian is going to y'all's 20th show. Wow. Well, Brian, that's awesome, man. Looking forward to seeing you.
Absolutely. Do you get to play out and about in Nashville at all? Do you go down on Broadway and play? I know that's like the touristy area, but if not there, do you go to like the outskirts, maybe the Station Inn or places like that?
No, not really.
No.
I never did play Broadway, actually.
Okay.
But I'll play. I get asked to do the Opry. Obviously, I say yes every time they ask. So I play the Opry. I'm playing Friday, actually. I'm
not laughing at you. I'm laughing at a comment. I'm sorry. Your drummer just chimed in. Just watching.
Yeah, I see. But no, I mean, we'll play little things here and there. We've done Old Red a couple of times down there, but that's tied in with the Opry. We really love the Opry. We want to be committed to them. They've been so good to us. They keep inviting us back. So
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. So if we're going to play in Nashville, we want to play. We want to see our friends at the Opry.
First time on that Opry stage. How was that?
Oh man.
I know everybody's got you may think the question's kind of dumb. Of course, it's going to be awesome, but seriously, everybody's got a different idea. How was it?
Well, I think everyone feels like it was the most special thing anyone could ever experience, and that's because it is. Especially, so here's the whole story. I hope you have time, but
hey, I got as much time as you have. So
I said I did security, right? When I was off, I took a break from music, so. The first listing I saw was security officer position at the Grand Ole Opry / the Ryman Auditorium. And so I took that job. I got offered the position there, and I took that job, and I worked at the Grand Ole Opry for 2 years as a security officer. Wow. So my first day on the job, my new boss, he takes me, he's giving me a tour orientation and a tour of the Opry. And he goes, we always do a thing here where when our security officers start working here, we come up and you step in the circle and we shake your hand, and then you work here now. And I said, all due respect, I want to be a country music singer.
Mhm.
I'm going to pass. I want to step in this circle with the guitar in my hands, singing my songs. And he
Wow.
kind of laughed, and he still to this day works there, that guy. And we laugh about it every time I play the Opry. But the first time I stepped in that circle, that's how long overdue it was. I worked there and I walked by that circle every day and to just step in it. Well, I could die tomorrow and I may never get to step in this thing.
Right.
What if I never get a deal? What if no one ever hears my name? I took a risk and I never stepped in it, but it all paid off in that one moment, August 21st, 2019.
A date
Well,
you will never, ever forget.
2018. I always do that.
He forgot it.
20.
No, I'm just
No, but you kind of have two parts of your brain talking, because a part of you is saying those comments, I may never get there, but then the other part of you is saying I am meant to be there and I'm not doing anything else unless I'm there. So that's the old two-shoulder thing going.
Yeah, you got to set yourself up. You got to give yourself reasons to keep on trucking.
Absolutely.
Hey, talking about trucking, who was the first to teach you to drive a stick shift?
My mom.
She told me to ask you.
I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember her teaching me because I would kill it every time I dumped that clutch and it just stalled right there.
Once you learn to drive a standard stick shift, whatever you want to call it, you can drive anything. It's just the man. Seriously. I mean, that's what I learned on a standard.
Yeah. You can't hardly find a stick shift anymore.
It's a special order, and good luck with that.
I enjoy driving a stick shift.
Yeah, exactly. Get you out of a lot of situations, if you know what I mean. So, cool. So we got Son of out there, and of course, you're still working on what's going to be the next single and all that. Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years?
I want to have a headlining tour. I do want to have a number one at radio, or multiple number ones at radio in 5 years. Hopefully 5 number ones by then. Let's see. I want Shayla and I to be in our dream home. And what else?
Well, that kind of says it all.
That's pretty much it. I mean, that's
I mean?
A lot in 5 years. That's some big goals, but I'm really, really just excited and on fire. And
whereabouts do you live in Nashville? You don't have to tell me exactly where, but what are you like? Obviously, you're in the outskirts, but what are you in Brentwood or?
No, we're kind of up like northeast of Nashville, and that kind of out in the country up that way.
Do you go to
pretty up there?
It is pretty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you go to the Titans or the Sounds or any of those?
No. No, we're Kentucky Wildcat fans. Who actually they're playing Tennessee on Saturday. So we follow the Wildcats. Shayla and I both, when we started dating, we had a conversation about sports, and we both, thank God, we both were like, I'm just not like I can't even hang in a serious conversation about sports. Neither of us are big into it. But it is something that we're trying to get into. We can't decide if we're Titans fans. We really don't have an NFL team that we support, but definitely something we're open to.
I just to go back a little bit, I keep watching these comments come in from Becky. And now it's like, ask him who taught him this. Ask him who taught him that. Now it's like, who taught you to sing harmony?
Well, I think at this point, I don't even need to answer.
Exactly. I mean, she says it right there. I love it, though. I love seeing the comments come in, and it sounds like you got a very loving family, very supportive family.
Oh, yeah, they are. I'm very blessed.
And yes, you are. I bet you Thanksgiving is a lot of fun.
Yes,
does Eddie, do you share Thanksgiving with like Eddie and everybody else, or?
Yeah, we always have. My nanny, my mom's mom, has always hosted Thanksgiving at her house, and so we do, and we enjoy good food. Nanny's a great cook. My mom is a great cook. We have a lot of good cooks in the family.
That's awesome. Oh, I bet you that's a hell of a meal. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Hungry thinking about it, but we're not going to keep you much longer here. Dillon Carmichael is with us here tonight on Skip Happens, and it's just great conversation. And it's good to find out. Yeah, I mean, you're doing your thing, you're doing what you love, it's your dream, it's your passion.
Yep.
It's also your job.
That's
And
right.
but it's a job that you love. It's a job that you wake up to every day and go, okay, maybe I'll write a song today. Or I'm going to go and do something, and these things come to mind. And how
Look,
often? Yeah, how often do you write?
it's hard to convince people and myself that it's a job sometimes, but it is. How often? Go ahead, I don't mean to interrupt. How often?
Yeah, how often do you write?
It comes in waves, like particularly this week, I've written every single day. It depends on what mode I'm in. If I have an album coming up, I'm about to start recording an album. Then I will focus on writing. If I just release an album, so see what I'm saying, then
Gotcha.
I've got some time. I'll take off and I'll I'll take some time in woodshed and become a better guitar player, or I'll focus my time on family, or being at home with Shayla, or whatever, hunting, deer hunting, or whatever it is. But I have seasons. I'll have a writing season, which I happen to be in right now.
How about the pandemic? Were you able to, something Deb and I ask almost every artist, were you able to put a lot of songs like on the back burner for now and have them ready to go when you need them?
Yeah, actually, that was kind of what caused Son of a, the albums for Son of a, to be so successful, is that the pandemic shutdown time was a great one of my best writing seasons, because I didn't have a lot of distractions. I mean, we did a whole bunch of fishing, a whole lot of sitting around and thinking. We would have fires, and I would go outside, spend a lot of time outdoors and outside, and had a lot of time to think. And I came up with a lot of ideas. Son of a was one of them. Son of a was written during that period. And yeah, I mean, it was a year of what I normally do in a couple months. When I get in a writing season, I'll normally kind of just get out away and no distractions. I mean, I'll go hunting and sit in a tree stand or whatever and just think of some ideas. I usually do a lot of writing in the fall during the hunting season, because that's when I think of ideas.
I was going to say, you're in a tree stand waiting for whatever to walk by.
But it's cold.
He's hunting, Deb. He's dressed warm. He's fine. Fine.
So do you have to talk? Do you talk into your phone when you get an idea for a song? I guess. I mean,
I do. Yeah. I mean, I do that. Sometimes I'll write it down in my notes section on my phone, or whatever. A lot of times I get inspired by other music. If songwriters tell you that this stuff just comes from thin air, they're lying, because you get it from being inspired by other music. And I'm not saying you're copying other music. You know what I mean? But
want me to answer that?
No, or is hopefully that you? My husband will.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was at Dillon's house. I was gonna.
Oh no, it's my house this time.
I got you. I got you.
Skips happening here.
Skip happened on your end this time, Deb. So if you could, and before we let you go, is there anybody that you would do anything to collaborate with, to get up there and do a song with?
This is always, not saying that this is a generic question, but my answer to any question like this is always, do they have to be alive? Because most of my heroes are Keith Whitley. Oh my gosh, I'd do anything to get to collaborate with Keith Whitley. But I do like to say someone that's relevant. Cody Johnson is someone who is really keeping it country, which is important to me. That is also learning to kind of navigate the industry, and also having success and standing up for what he believes in. He's not changed a lick since he started. So
absolutely, definitely good stuff. Dillon Carmichael. By the way, Reba said, when I asked you the question about 5 years, I don't know if you can see it or not. It said, hopefully in 5 years we'll have a niece or a nephew.
Oh, she's setting me up for that one.
Oh, that was a big setup.
You know what? I just don't have an answer. I really don't.
No, I know.
Mhm.
And you know what? I hate it. You're right. That's one of those questions that everybody probably asks. Doesn't matter who you're talking to. And we're just as guilty as the next guy. But I like to be a little
Jeez,
bit different. So, but every once in a while they pop up. So those
the
questions.
poor
Yes.
guy just got back from his honeymoon, so we'll give him a little while.
Yeah, give us a little bit.
Give
Yeah.
him a little
That's
while.
why he's drinking the bourbon. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
'Cause
Cheers.
I'll tell you,
Cheers.
once those kids come along, your whole life is different, even though you're
Exactly.
still doing what you're doing.
The
Everything.
guy's
Well,
young.
Crazy.
I feel like
Mhm.
y'all don't get asked questions, so I'm going to ask a question.
Oh, I love this. I
Okay.
love this. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go
Every
ahead.
once in a while, we got a question.
Yeah, I
I
love
got
this.
2 questions.
Go ahead.
Okay.
One, what is your all's favorite type of food? Generic
Oh.
question.
Okay. Go ahead, Skip.
We had Chinese tonight, and I got to say that's like some of my favorite food. But my wife did some sort of chicken. It wasn't a sweet and sour. I forgot what it was, but it was really good on rice.
Well, like
The rice had a
sesame
little bite to it.
chicken, General So, trying to think what orange chicken, cashew chicken. We're into all
I
that.
don't know what the hell the name of it was, but it was good. My wife said, I did something a little different tonight, but it was really
Yep.
good. But Dylan, I will tell you, I'm a big, and it's probably my downfall, beef eater.
Yeah.
I love beef. And I love, some people, they look at what I'm eating and they go, that's gross. It's red, but I have to have it's rare to medium rare. And it's just a good cut of beef. And I'm happy.
I gotta tell you, if you haven't done, if you love beef, and this is tough for some people. The best burger I've ever had in my life was not made of beef, but it was made of venison.
Really?
Venison.
I'm so afraid to eat venison.
Venison patty.
If
I mean, I'm talking about 5 seconds on each side. It's pretty gnarly, but it's absolutely delicious. But
Maybe someday.
I have friends that hunt, and friends they'll give me some venison or a roast or even the venison sausage. Is it?
oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
very good. And and if you put it down in front of somebody, they would never know it was venison.
nah, you
I
got to
don't
do it
think.
right. You got to make sure it's done right. That way, it's not
Yes.
real gamey and stuff. But Deb, what's your favorite food?
So I always said if I was stranded on an island somewhere, what would I want to, have for the rest of my life? I think I've narrowed it down to just 4 things.
Okay.
I love a good steak. Love a
Okay.
good steak. Like I could eat steak every day. Love New York style pizza,
Okay.
which I truly miss because I'm upstate and I was raised
Mm.
downstate. Chocolate ice cream
Okay.
and grapes. Isn't that
Oh,
like the weirdest combination?
Have you had cotton candy grapes?
I have, and I love them. And we don't have them here very
Whoa,
often.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
believe
whoa,
it or
whoa, whoa,
not.
whoa, Dylan, what's cotton
Oh.
candy
Oh,
grapes?
come on. You've never heard of cotton candy grapes? That's okay.
Redmond's
Because I
carrot.
hadn't
It's
either.
okay.
Say, look,
Tell me what is it?
Yeah. Go
So
ahead.
my original question for cotton candy grapes, the first time I tried them was, oh, well, this is obviously where they get the sugar and the flavor for cotton candy. That is
Okay.
not true. Okay. They're grapes that grow and they just so happen to have an almost identical flavor to what you would have if you had cotton candy.
Really?
And
Cotton candy
every
grows-
once in a while, we'll get them here. We do not get them very often.
They grow
So they-
completely natural. And I
Mhm.
think somebody should make a wine out of it.
Oh, I bet you
Oh
that would
my
be
God.
good. It sounds good. Deb, where would you get them here in the Northeast if they are here? Like at a
I've had 'em.
Wegmans or?
Yeah. They
Okay.
just don't. It's really in the summer, like early summer. I've been able to pick them up, but they're just not here very often. It's a hit or miss kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. Where are they normally grown? I don't
I have
know
no idea.
that
where
we
they're
can't
from.
get them, or maybe it's not a hot seller
They're
here. I don't
definitely
know. But
seasonal. They're
Yeah.
they're seasonal here.
yeah. So I'll take those two on my island.
I think the next time, and Deb, you're in Nashville starting Sunday. You're gonna have to see if they got some out there.
I will look for them. And if
And
I
bring
get
some
'em,
back.
I'll bring some back. There you
And
go.
my second question was, what do y'all have going on in the near future?
Near future. Well, let's see. I got a Jackson Dean show coming up on Tuesday.
Nice. I'm a big fan.
I am a big fan as well. He's doing a radio show for us, and that's pretty cool. Cannot wait. And the cool thing about having Jackson Dean, and you're going to be there too, is not at the show. I wish you would be, but the song that he "Don't Come Looking" that's out right now. Chances are on Tuesday it's going to be almost at the top of the chart.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
really?
you talk
Nice.
about timing, Deb, and you're going to miss it because you're going to be in
I
Nash Vegas.
know.
But
I
here,
know. You'll have to
I'm just saying.
video.
So I have
for me.
that coming up. I have a Halloween party for my son has special needs, so we'll be doing that over the weekend on Saturday. And I will watch the World Series. I do want to watch that. So we're a big baseball family, but I, like you, Dylan, I don't get into those heavy conversations because I do enjoy sports. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not like a diehard, I forget. I don't know what you would call it, but I don't get into the big time heavy conversation.
Right. Same. Like who had rushed like 100 rushing yards?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, I just don't know all those details about that, but I love the spirit of sports and to cheer on a certain team and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But Deb, what you got going on in the near future?
Well, I will be in Nashville most of the month of November. My other company, so I have the official country music fan club where we promote all of the artists, but my other company is called Audience Company, and we provide extras and crowds, audience members for film projects.
Yeah.
So there is a huge filming through November, and it's for Project Supergroup. So they're filming that for TV starting Wednesday. So if any of your listeners aren't doing anything on Wednesday, come on out. You can look us up at Audience Company, and we're going to be at the Municipal Auditorium downtown, and I'll just be pretty much doing that for the next few weeks. So if you're playing anywhere, I actually could come see you.
Yeah. Let's see. You're coming in Sunday. We play Friday.
Of course.
November 8th, though. Which is
you'll be there,
my
Deb.
birthday. We're doing a show at 3rd and Lindsley in Nashville. So
I love that place.
That's the best place.
Yeah, so November 8th, that night, I think it's a weekday. Come see us.
Yeah. Because you usually you're doing the evening show, because I think I'm going to be working till like 6.
Yeah, it's the evening show. It'll be
all
late.
right. I absolutely will try to get there.
Absolutely will. Let's get connected, and if you want to, let me know, and we can write your name down and stuff. And
okay.
Yeah.
No, because I'll be right downtown. I mean, that's not going to be too far from where I'm going to be. So
Deb, I'll be here raking leaves.
I know.
Cleaning up the yard, and it's going to snow any day now. So I'm just saying.
It's a mission of mine. It's a mission of mine that every time I'm there, I try to find one of the artists that we've interviewed, and I try to go see their show. So
that would be awesome.
I would love to.
No pressure. I know you're there working. So
yeah, I know. I'll definitely let you know.
It's been an honor. Thank you so much for having me on here, and we should do it again.
Yep. And we're going to let you go. Absolutely right. It's Dillon Carmichael, everybody, on Skip Happens. Sonova is hitting inside the top 40 now. Give it a listen. If you haven't heard it and you're new, give it a listen, because I think you're going to love it. It's Dillon Carmichael. Remember that name. I imagine anywhere on socials, Google him. It's all going to come up. You'll find out where you can get the music and all that good stuff, if I'm not mistaken. So, Dillon, congrats on the marriage, the wedding here recently. Congrats 5 years ahead of time on the nephew or niece. He keeps looking at Shayla. I love it. Dillon, you're pretty awesome, dude. And I hope to shake your hand real soon. I know I go to CRS every year, so I'm usually in there. Maybe for the CMAs, if something comes up, I usually, I show up, but still, we'll see. It's
I'll be at CRS, so y'all come say hi. That's in February?
No, it's in March this year.
Oh, is it?
Sure, it's March.
Yeah. You're going to get the same window, or you don't know?
What?
Are you going to get the same window?
It's working. You can't.
You
can't change some. What is that saying? Don't fix it if it's not broken or something.
Right. Yeah, they did you right by doing that, dude.
It's amazing that there's so many people that could come in and try to take that space, but Riser House just keeps on getting it.
Yeah, get it. It's worth it. And I'm telling you, from somebody that you go up, we'd go up the escalator right there, and all of a sudden there's Dillon. It's like, wow.
And I'm always hanging out right underneath of it. So if you ever want to know how to find me during CRS, just find that. And
Oh, definitely.
Or you know what? We can just go down to Bar Lines and have a cold one. So
yeah, or Bar Lines, those two places. That's
yeah,
it.
Exactly. I still don't tell anybody, but I steal the glasses every time I'm there.
Oh, do you?
Say Bar Lines.
Don't tell anybody while we're on public.
Yeah,
streaming live to
I know,
all these viewers. Okay.
All right. Dillon Carmichael, again, thank you for being on Skip Happens
Thank you.
tonight, the podcast.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for giving us great music. Seriously, it makes my job easy as a guy on the radio, and of course, it's helping you as an artist, and it's a two-way street, my friend. And it's so good to see you. And we, like I said, hopefully we get to say hello real soon. We're going to sign off. Hang on there for just 1 second, and just again. Oh, so I see you got your 50 family members over here. And now, if every one of those would go and give the Country Music Fan Club Facebook a like, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And if they would go now, everybody listening now, go to Skip Happens on YouTube and just subscribe on YouTube. You go skip. Actually, what you can do, YouTube's got a new thing now. You go youtube.com/@Skip Happens.
What is up with all that stuff?
Yeah. And it'll take you right to our page with the button that says subscribe. And you'll see Dillon's picture up there. So you just hit subscribe. Would appreciate that. And then you'll never miss a great interview. And I know Dillon will be back with us in the near future.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us here tonight on Skip Happens. Skip Clark, Deb Lamphere, and of course, the one and only Dillon Carmichael. Thanks for joining us.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone in the